Okay, promise I promise. I mentioned in the prior video that I will be getting the Fox DHX RC2. I am then purchasing the DHX RC4. There is a little more into it for what I wanted to accomplish. Remember that I'm going to be taking this bike maybe next week or the following weekend to the racetrack, and I'm gonna see how the bike progresses. I'm gonna see how the tires behave. I'm gonna be able to set up my front suspension and my rear suspension. I end up getting the RC4 because it's coated in something that is called Koshima, which is basically like not like an anodized, but it comes on the front forks like they're very expensive on motorcycles. And when the shock travel, it creates a lot of friction inside the piston. This reduces the amount of friction in it. It have a rebound. It have air pressure adjuster, which is really good. But one of the most important things when you ride a racetrack, when you're coming into braking bumps or acceleration bumps, you have regular compression. Rebound. And this little blue dial around the outside is the regular rebound, but inside it have another dial for high-speed rebound. So when you get to choppier areas, you want that part of the shock to start working, then you really want to have that dial in as you can, because you don't want that rear wheel to be taken off and bouncing off because you start throwing your rear end around it. These four have the same setup on the front, so I'm gonna be installing this guy today and see the difference between a really very regular stock up. Okay, I already took this is really short also. It have like maybe about an inch of travel, which is very little compared with this one. It's 3 1/4. That's a big difference. So I already took the screws and I put this piece of aluminum because when I pop this screw out, the swing arm is gonna end dropping too far down, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna be popping this out, removing this, and taking the screw from inside and then the other side, and see if I can retrofit my beautiful nice fork here. Now my son is riding his TTR 50, so the shock is in, but my original shock obviously goes here, and I had 2 brackets. They are somewhere right now that I wanted to show you because it's a big difference on suspension right now. I mean, this is better for me because I'm expecting to do some jumps, and this was bolted in there. So if you guys notice, my other shock was started right at the bottom single hole, and those 2 they were bolted in there. So I'm already dropped the tire about 1.5 inches sitting on the block, and I barely making it to this hole. So I actually had to drop this even further to get the suspension. But if it's too much, I'm gonna drill another hole, which I can't drill another hole any higher. I can, if I drill another hole up here, I will have to take a piece of this angle off because the housing of the shock will be touching. So I'm gonna put it on right now because I'm super excited. All what I did is to set up the sag on this. Should be 60 millimeters from standing up with no weight like this to sitting. So all what I did is drop this washer down until the spring is tight and doesn't rattle. And after that, I gotta set up the sag on the bike, which should be about 60 millimeters from standing, no weight, to sitting, and then get off the bike. And this little bushing inside here should drop, and I should see the gap in between. 16 millimeters is what they say. After that, if I want a little stiffness, I can compress this washer and compress the ring. If I want a little more, I can use the air assist. This goes from 125 psi to 200 psi that I can adjust it with this dial. And after that, I have inside the high speed with the 5mm Allen key. I think it's smaller than a 5mm, and low speed with that dial, and rebound on the bottom. So I'm very excited to see. I don't know how high this is gonna be, and I might gonna have to, like I said, cut this bracket and move this hole up high if I had really too much space, because right now I do, but I want the full travel of the suspension because I'm definitely gonna be doing some jumping. I think I'm gonna be ending going to the track next week or the following week, and I'm gonna be shooting a video. I'm gonna start it like even timing laps, and see where the bike is at, and work through the spring and summer to see what we can get this thing to. I'm changing the motor right now. I have this lifting, which everybody that's watching the videos know, and I'm gonna be putting I think I'm gonna be putting a Piranha 160 with clutch, because you really need to feather your clutch when you ride. It cannot be automatic. But if I go next week, I don't have the engine right now, I'll be taking the bike this way and try to do the best as I can. And after that, I'll be purchasing the motor and change it for the 160 or the 190 Daytona. And either one, it'll have a clutch, so you can come with the throttle open and feather your clutch and have gears to shift. You want to come into areas with higher gears to not get so much wheel spin. Okay, I'll put this up together and show you how it looks. Okay, the shock is in. I gotta start figuring out some clickings, but it's worthless if I'm riding on the street. I wanted to show you something else. I know I have mentioned this before, but as you guys can see, I have those little Sharpie lines, and all my Sharpie lines, they are pointing upward, right there, that one. Okay, I have them inside there, them in here, in there, up in here, inside there. Everywhere where I have a bolt, I can see if it's moving or not moving. It's just so easy because you walk through and they're all pointing upward. That way you're not getting an unexpected bolt loose when you're riding. Okay, I suggest you guys to do it. You'll be able to check up all your bolts just to walk by and look at it. I just put my clamps, if you guys saw it in the prior video, and you can see they're all there, they're all locked tight, they're all up. Okay, I have a little turn at the end right here, and I want to really see the other suspension right there. We have a berm, and it used to bounce and kicks up, and it make you lose the speed because the wheel is not really steady sitting on the ground. So I'm gonna pass around and see what it does.